Hey, my name is Chad. On this channel we like to make stuff, and welcome back to our video. This video is a continuation from the last video where we went hour by hour to give you, the audience, an idea of just how much effort and time goes into creating one of these posts here. And by the way, if this is your first time viewing this channel, this is the build of my dream timber frame wood shop. So I am constructing this beam by beam, cutting all the trees, milling them, shaping them, and putting them all in place. And for the most part, it is completely solo. One man doing all this by himself. And yeah, so this is what this channel is currently all about. So I suggest if this kind of thing interests you, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. So if you did miss last video, we went through step by step what it takes to create one of these posts, actually two of these posts at one time. And there are 8 total required for the building. I now have 6 completed. There's going to be 2 more left to do. But this is a 15-foot, well, it's just over 15 feet long, and it's got, I counted 19 separate processes, and it took a total of 19 hours to complete 2 of them. And this is one of those posts already completed and stood up. So I'm going to tell you exactly what all had to be done to it. The first thing I had to do was cut the tree down. And then I had to get the log to the sawmill and cut it to rough dimension of 9 3/4 by 7 3/4. And once I got it off the sawmill and over to the foundation, only then did the clock start. And everything you see here, times 2, took 19 hours. So 19 hours on 2 components is a little hard to swallow. So we're going to go ahead and use the rest of this video to break down basically how we justify that. All right, so 19 hours is a little hard to take for one job. So we're going to go ahead and slash that off because that one job was for 2 posts. And for that, we get 9 1/2 hours per job. But let's acknowledge the fact that because we were doing 2 simultaneously, we probably saved a few hours. So this 19-hour job for 2 was probably closer to, who knows, 24 hours. And let's go ahead and give us a little discount because I'm filming the whole thing. Let's go ahead and knock off maybe an hour. So let's call that 8.5 hours. Let's just call it around 8 hours for one job. Okay, that's a whole day's labor. So now that we know how long it takes to create one post, we can start putting a dollar figure to this. Now, so labor, let's assume that my labor is worth $30 an hour. I'm not sure what the going rate is, but that's probably a price I would accept as a laborer for doing one of these jobs. So if it's a $30 an hour job, then we've got a $240 labor cost on one of these posts. And so for the rest of the costs involved, we have to make some assumptions. I own the tree on the land that I own, that I pay taxes on. So let's assume that, well, let's just call it $100. That's easy. And off of one tree, I can get 2 to 3 logs off of. So let's say I got 2 logs off of the one tree. So that's going to be a $50 piece of wood, basically. And then you're talking about equipment, fuel, electricity. Again, we got to make some assumptions. I bought and paid for the equipment and the fuel involved to, run the tractor out of the forest, run the sawmill off of gasoline, and then electricity because I'm using power tools. So I'm just going to call it another $100. And with that, we've got a total of $240 for labor, $50 for the wood, and $100 for other expenses. So we're looking at $390 to complete one of these posts. So given that cost basis and knowing that we've got 8 of these posts required for the build, we come up with $3,120 in perceived value for each of these 8 posts. Now, further assume that my labor is free. So there's $240 off of that. And we can also assume the sunk cost of owning the property, paying the taxes, owning the equipment, putting fuel into it. You know, that's a sunk cost. So it's really hard to, you know, put that into output, which in the form of these posts. So all in all, these 8 posts, 2 have yet to have been built, but these 8 posts are costing me $0. So yeah, I could work faster and more efficiently and get some cost savings in that, but all in all, I'd say 19 hours for 2 of these posts isn't a bad investment. And that same philosophy goes to each and every one of these components that are going into this build, except for 2. These long tie beams that are 21 feet in length, I had to actually pay for those because, well, I don't have the trees that are big enough to get the full dimension out of, and well, pretty much that. I didn't have the trees big enough. So I had to actually spend money on those, and I've got another video telling you exactly how much I paid for them, but if I recall, I think it was about $1,200 each. It seems about right. It might have been $1,500. But anyway, that is the most significant expense in the building materials so far, other than the foundation. And if you stick through this whole build, one day at the end of it, I'm going to do an entire cost breakdown of the entire completed project. I don't know what that cost breakdown is yet because obviously I have not done spending money. And with that said, I am completely funding this out of pocket. I do have a home equity line of credit that I'm dipping into for big expenses such as the foundation, and I suppose eventually when it's time to put a roof on it, I will have that done professionally, HVAC, things like that. But you know, YouTube is supposed to be helping to fund this, but it's just, yeah, the money's not really there in YouTube like a lot of channels. I don't get very many views like some of these mega channels, but you know, I do get something, and I'll tell you exactly how much I've made in just almost 2 years, and it is $215. So that doesn't even cover, well, property tax for one. But I will tell you that you as a subscriber and watcher are very much appreciated because, you know, it all kind of builds momentum, and it actually keeps me posting. So if you do like the content that is on this channel, if you like the build stuff, then keep watching, subscribe, and every time you watch, it kind of gives me advertising revenue, and that's very much appreciated. It goes directly back into this in some form, and you're helping out the channel just by watching. So thanks for that. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you are new to the channel and you want to get caught up to everything that's been going on out here at Shady Acres in just one video, then I suggest you start right here. And if you want to dive in from the beginning and see everything that we've ever done out here, then start right here, click it, and just let it play.